How you doing? This is Coach DeCarlo. Today we're going to talk about assumptions hardening into facts. Neville says this: even though at the moment of the assumption it was denied by reason, an assumption, if persisted in, will harden into facts. Now, what does this mean? Let's go back to it. Even though at the moment of the assumption it was denied by reason. Now, what does reason say when you're trying to manifest, as it were, more money, a better relationship, better health? Whatever it is that you desire, all reality says this is impossible. Let me add this: no great achievement, no one ever went down in history being ordinary. Ordinary says, I'll believe it when I see it. Extraordinary says, I'll see it when I believe it. What's the difference? One's operating from the five senses, the other one's operating from the mindset of faith. I like to say that faith is a favorable anticipation in thoughts held. What are you giving your attention to, Creator? Are you giving your attention to what's going on the without? Recently, somebody reached out to my Facebook group and they said, listen, I'm happy for all those people who are manifesting and how the law of attraction, the law of assumption is working for them, but it's not working for me. And I'm pretty much tired at looking at one video to another of all these people talking about what it is that they're manifesting, or joining one Facebook group after the other and not getting any results. And I reached out to the person. I said, listen, you're always getting results. And I challenged the person for the next 30 days, turn off the Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, whatever, and start taking inventory of their thoughts. If we begin to take inventory of our thoughts, what we'll discover is that we're the culprit. The reason we're not manifesting, one of two reasons. Scripture says this: we're either not asking or we're asking amiss. What does that mean? Many times we believe that we're asking, and what we're doing is begging and pleading for what we don't want. As we discussed in other talks, subconscious mind cannot process a negated sentence. So if you're pleading for what it is that you don't want, subconscious mind sees that as pleading for more of that thing that you don't want. In order to begin acting aright, you begin focusing your attention on what it is you desire to manifest. For example, Neville says here, even though at the moment of the assumption it was denied by reason, what is the reason? The reason is I don't have the education. The reason is I'm not the right color. I'm not the right sex. I'm not the right age. This is reason. When you start looking from a mind of reason, it will give you all the reasons that you cannot do what it is that you're imagining. Neville says this: even though at the moment of the assumption it's denied by reason. An assumption, if persisted in, will harden into your new reality. What does this mean? When you begin focusing on what it is that you desire, when you begin meditating on that, when you begin seeing yourself already possessing, doing, being, having that thing that you desire, what's happening is that subconscious mind is seeing this as your current reality. He says an assumption, even if false, fairy tale, make believe, if persisted in, will take shape, mold itself, form itself, outpicture itself into reality. You have to understand that the reality, the 3D, what is often called the virtual reality, is always changing. What causes the change in the 3D? Once you understand what causes the change in the 3D, you will begin to have the tools to make the change in your own world, or reality, as we call it. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Source, God, whatever you call that infinite intelligence. And apart from all creation, nothing was created apart from this thing called the Word. The Word is our imagination, I am. When we begin to see our world differently, when we begin to act as if, live from the in, live according to what it is we see on the inside, we will begin to outpicture it into our so-called reality. Everything starts in your imagination, creators. And until you understand that thoughts become things, discouragement will only bring about more to be discouraged about. Understand this, that when a dream is suppressed, that suppression turns into depression. When you begin to express that thing that's in you, when you begin to give birth to that thing that's in you, then you will release the suppression that's causing the depression, and all of a sudden you will have your expression because of your impression on your mind's eye. Even though at the moment of the assumption, it is denied, everything on the without says this can't be the case. It says that nothing's ever working out for me. It says this stuff doesn't work. I'm fed up with this stuff and I'm going to give up on it. You can't give up on it, creators. Even when you think that you're not doing it, you're doing it. So why not purposefully do it and create a world after your own imagination? Even though an assumption is denied by reason, if, the magic word, if persisted in, that assumption will harden into fact. You can know what it is that you've given your assumption to up until this moment by the facts in your world. If you're not happy with the facts, then change the assumption. Even though at the moment of the assumption, it is denied by reason, an assumption, if persisted in, if persisted in, many of you start this journey and you say, well, I'm going to manifest $1 million. I'm going to manifest my ideal mate. I'm going to manifest better health. It says, if persisted in, but 2 or 3 months pass, and this thing that you say that is your life goal, the thing that you want to pursue, 2 or 3 months pass, you say, this stuff doesn't work. Well, no, coach, I've been doing this for a number of years. How long should you persist in your assumption? Until you bring it about or till you change it. Sometimes at certain points in our lives, we think that what we want is $1 million, $1 billion, whatever that dollar amount is. But as we mature, we say, that's really not what I wanted. What I really wanted was to be able to purchase that house. But now you have the house and $1 million doesn't seem all that important. So of course, at that moment, your assumption changes. But understand this, creators. Everybody has their highs and their lows, their ups and their downs. Now, just because those who are posting on YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, all the other social media tools, doesn't mean that they're not experiencing also heartache. The truth of the matter is, everybody's going through what you're going through. Everybody's going through something. The thing that determines how successful you are in going through the something is mindset. When you begin to understand that the things that you're going through are not strange, and just because the people that are presenting this information to you are giving you the impression that nothing ever goes wrong in their lives, not true, but even though they're giving you that impression, you say, well, then I must be doing something wrong. No, you're doing everything right. This is how life works. But just because you have a setback, don't allow it to be a setup for your failure in your future. Persist in the assumption, if persisted in, will harden into facts. Now, When the facts come, you don't stop there. Then you have to nurture that thing. If you purchase that house, you got to take care of that house. You have to take care of that relationship. You have to maintain that money. People think that once they manifest, then the work is done. The things that you desire to manifest have to also be taken care of. You say, well, I manifested this years ago. Why don't I have it now? Because you didn't take care of it. How do you take care of it? You take care of it by giving your attention to more of what it is that you want to manifest. You love it, you nurture it, you care for it. Whatever that thing is, you honor the thing that you've manifested. You give thanks, gratitude for what you already have. You can't be in a state of saying this stuff doesn't work and think that you're going to attract more of the good that you desire. You have to begin to operate from a place of gratitude where you are. As you begin operating from that place of gratitude and you begin seeing your assumption as real. And even though an assumption, if denied by reason, if persisted in, that assumption will harden into your reality. But creators, don't find yourself discouraged when it doesn't appear to be working. It's always working. When it doesn't appear to be working, go back to your thoughts, creators. What thoughts have I been thinking up until this moment? And we're not talking about that fleeting moment of in a state akin to sleep and I'm going to go to bed. But like I said, 23 hours of the day, you've been thinking this stuff doesn't work. It's about mindset. Sometimes mindset requires some attention, some work on our side. Many of the people that teach these principles give you the impression that there's nothing that you have to do, but you have to be in the right state. You have to be in the right mindset. You have to be in a place that if you want rain, you have to be in a place of anticipating rain. You have to get into the state of what it is you desire. And sometimes this isn't easy. This is why Mr. Lindell says week after week, go into the silence. Going into the silence is a place where you can begin exercising that muscle called your imagination. As you begin to exercise that muscle, you're going to start creating more of the life that you desire because you're not going to be derailed by the outward appearance. You're going to realize those things happen. But as they happen, who do I need to be when they happen? You can't let the exterior, the 3D, the outside influence who you will be. When you decide who you will be, none of these things move me. You will become a force of change in your life as well as the lives of others. Creators, you're a very powerful creator. You have to begin understanding that thoughts become things. Even negative thoughts become things. Even when you think that you're thinking positive, deep down in your core, there's some things that you're holding on to, maybe unforgiveness, whatever, they show up. And they show up into this thing called reality or 3D or virtual reality, whatever you want to call it, life. But don't be moved when they show up. Ask yourself, who do I have to become to eliminate this thing from my life, to rise above this thing in my life? This is what your successful people do. They go into the silence, they visualize, but then when the hard times come, they ask themselves, who do I need to become to transcend this current state of affairs? Who do you need to become, creators? But remember this, that only you, nobody else, not God or man, can create your perfect world. And it starts with your thinking. As you begin thinking right, and I say thinking right, thinking according to what it is you want to manifest in your life, you'll discover that your life will start changing, shifting, rearranging those things, those events, though even at the moment are denied by reason, when persisted in, will harden into facts. That's given to you to do, creators. But don't look at it as a magic formula. Look at it as this is how life works. As I think, I am. This is Coach DeCarlo saying have a great and abundant day.